Hello viewer, welcome back to some more Vagrus adventures. Last episode was a little bit all over the place. Mainly here in Avernum. We did advance the golden theory. That's gonna keep going once we get back there. We advanced Nadir's quest a little bit. Now I am in the unfortunate position that I need to go look for some ghosts, and I have no idea where to find any, so that's gonna be fun. Otherwise, we have also learned that these demon attacks are eventually going to escalate, and we get some big demon that we can farm a horn from. And we have a haunted warehouse somewhere in Skornar. I really hope it is haunted, and maybe we can get some ghosts. That would be nice. Other than that, we talked to the Prefectus a little bit. Now he likes us, ever so slightly. Because, you know, we're useful and all that. Now, before I forget, I want to remove this lamp. Because usually it keeps undead away from us. And that is the opposite of what we need to do right now. So, what should we do today? Maybe check out the haunted warehouse? There's probably not much else for us here. Let's exhaust everything there is to do here in Avernum before making a trek back. There's a bounty of undead. I really hope it's not just zombies or skeletons. Let's see. You learned from the bounty officer that something of a serious threat has begun to emerge to the northwest of the city. We have received reports that a large herd of smoldering undead has gathered in that area. It's not uncommon, though the Ashkolites claim that this coterie is getting much larger than they like. Still not big enough to warrant action from the army or the church, so it's good business to us bounty hunters. You need some tough warriors for this one, though the payout is big. 42 bros all in all. Wanna take them on? No, thank you. But at least we now have the knowledge that to the northwest of here. I'm gonna take a guess and say that it's somewhere around here. So my idea to go here to the Dead Forest might actually have some merit. We will see. Okay, let's do a daily, see what we find. We take a little break here. Some extra morale is always good. Okay, now, what is here in Skornar? This is the Dwarven workshop. We don't have scrap metal. We do have the arena here. Oh, we actually can fight in here. And for one bros, we can talk to the condemned warrior. That one was pretty hyped up. I actually want to see what he's about. Upon receiving the bribe, the guards escort you into the tunnels beneath the area and take you to the place where gladiators are kept. After telling you that you have only a few minutes, they open a door and usher you in. At the end of a short corridor is a larger cell with hardened bone bars. The warrior who the guards tell you is called Skornar the Blue-Faced is in there, lying on his cot, After you are left alone with him and introduce yourself, he gets up, walks to the bars, and leans onto them, stroking his long braided beard. I do not know you, friend. Are you an admirer? Or a collegium henchman come to gloat? No, you don't look like that. Not at all. So, what do I owe this visit? You tell Skornar that you saw him in the arena and that the fight, as well as the rumors about his predicament, piqued your interest. So, does that mean that you are looking for a new partner for your enterprise? Bodyguard, a lackey? Unfortunately, I'm all out of options, as you can see. He exhales sharply, then raises a hand. My apologies for being snarky. Truth is, I'm getting tired of my situation here. Perhaps I've already made my peace with it, that this is my end. I'd rather be done with it already, but these pathetic fucks can't seem to get good enough gladiators to finally kill me, and I have no way of getting out of here, so here we are. Skornar looks at you with a mischievous smile. Of course, if someone would bust me out of here, I would be eternally grateful. I could even work with such a friend, he says, shrugging, then adds, if I were someone like that, I'd seek out someone in power in this city, if you haven't done that already. Before you could talk more, the guards returned to escort you out, saying your time is up. Best of luck, friend, Skornar says, smiling. Okay, so, if we get into the good graces of the Prefectus, we might just be able to get a new companion. Wouldn't say no to that. Maybe he can actually replace Harvek on the front line. Wouldn't say no to that. So, what is about this warehouse? The neighborhood where the warehouses stand looks even worse than the rest of Skoria. It is right next to the city's curtain wall and beside the rows of abandoned storage facilities, mostly dilapidated tenements. You are not at all shocked that people go missing here. There are several ways you can approach this, including going to the warehouses connected to the disappearances. Okay, we can ask around. Buy some rounds in the tavern. Well, I'm not sure how much I would trust the validity of drunken rumors. Or we can go directly. Let's first ask around. Maybe that gives us something. Not many of the decrepit inhabitants of the area are willing to talk to you, but the few that do tell you stories usually connected to such disappearances, like horrible sounds during the night or odd smells in the area. A persistent theory is that one of the warehouses is haunted, and that people started to go missing when the haunting began. Of course, all this is coming from bogweed junkies, booze wrecks, and mean-spirited gossips, so you take it with a grain of salt. Well, yeah, not quite sure what I expected here. Let's drop some coin here. You learn that the Rusty Pugio used to be the favorite of veterans and soldiers, but has fallen upon hard times, and now it is a rather nasty public house where local alcoholics buy their cheap booze. Well, maybe if you don't sell your booze that cheap, they would not go here, problem solved. After paying for a couple of rounds, the regulars begin opening up about the problems of the neighborhood, including the recent disappearances of its denizens. You learn that the Avernus Legion's investigation was fairly bare bones. The Avernus Dicks did shit, one toothless old-timer lets on while the others nod in agreement. He ain't wrong, the obese bartender lady says. But can you blame them? Those damned warehouses have been cursed for more than 10 years now. That's when a massacre went down in one of them, then painted the streets around the buildings red with blood. Skorgorodites killing them slave lovers, they say. She leans closer and goes on more quietly. They say them ragers use twisted curses and torture to interrogate the sad cunts, and that their souls are still screaming in the night, if you believe in such things. Great pain causing localized hauntings is not unheard of, but this is still mostly gossip. Well, if it was the one that I am remembering. That was in the prologue. And yeah, those Skorgorodites really went to town. on the abolitionists. I can totally see a haunting happening here. Okay, does this give the same? Yeah, okay. It takes a matter of minutes to locate the warehouses in question, then to find the supposedly haunted warehouse. It is a large building in a fairly sad condition. The once yellow paint has all but flaked off, and nobody cared to clear the ash covering the roof and the walls facing the inner city. Okay, what do we find here? Let's take everyone. There's still room for one more. The inside of the long warehouse is engulfed in complete darkness, so you take out some lamps, but even so, the surrounding twilight seems to drink the light, and you can feel the place's oppressing aura. The place is completely abandoned, and judging by the inside of the main storage room, it is a sort of a miracle that it is standing considering the level of neglect. Dust and ash cover the surfaces, but other than some nondescript debris, the warehouse is empty. The sour stench adds to the uncomfortable sensation that overwhelms you. After a first sweep, you find no sign of any activity or haunting here, let alone clues as to what happened to the people gone missing. You think about what to do next. Standing in the large empty main storage room, you think about your options. Ooh, and we have enough perception. We could also have a specific companion. Or if we are a dwarf. Okay, so that tells me there is a secret passage in here somewhere. Let's take it another search. Nothing new turns up until all of a sudden the group becomes aware of a strange draft in a certain spot. There are no windows and the door is shut, so could this mean that there is a hidden passageway here somewhere? Well, duh. Oh, wait. We actually need... Ha, interesting. So it looks like multiple of those conditions would need to be met. Well, I don't know where to find that Garrick person. No matter how hard you look, your group finds no trace of a haunting or any other activity, so you decide to abandon hope and head back to the more populated section of Skornar. This mystery has to be solved by someone else in the future. It was probably nothing anyway. Oh, and it's just gone. Ha. Alright then. So does this count? Yeah, this counts as a failed quest. Well, that's a thing. Well, it's not like we can change our race in the game, so nothing we can do about that one. But I might file that away, just in case I ever finish this game and decide to try again. But as it happens, this was the last thing that we could do here in Avernum. Let's go to the temples real quick. Ask for an Masculite blessing. And get the blessing of unbinding. That's the one I was looking for. We need this one specifically to damage ghosts. Okay, 4 bros for a bit of reputation. Don't know how we're doing reputation wise. Let's just pay for it this time. There we go. Now everything is in order. There are no supplies left in here. I think I might just take a little trip up here. Maybe get into scrap heap to resupply a little bit. Alright, time to go on an adventure. Well, that's a thing. Apparently, we cannot even skirt the Voiceless Lake, because the Black Desert doesn't actually allow us. Which is pretty weird considering that we actually came from up here in the prologue and we were able to just go around it. Well, I guess that means all of this is inaccessible, which does bring the question again of where to go to find any undead. I mean, it has to be somewhere, right? Unfortunately, we lost a couple points of morale because of this. Not a fan of that at all. I am in a bit of a bind here. So this entire thing locks down our progression. We can't go north from Devon. The same way we can't go north from here. We cannot go east into the Dragonlands. And we cannot go south, but still, we got stuff to do. I just don't know where to do it. Like, get this, the Lands of Shadow. It is so goddamn obviously an undead-infested place. I really want to get in there. I just don't know how. And it's starting to really bug me. Well, let's just grab a couple of tasks. I am getting pretty low on funds anyway. Okay, we are here in Ash. And something seems to be happening. The Comitatus approaches the town of Ash, struggling against the speckles of grey dust swirling through the air. Visibility is reduced to a minimum, yet you manage to arrive at the perimeter, where you are waved on by a group of uncaring Imperial Guardsmen. You enter the settlement, intent on reaching the Mancio before any more of the bothersome dust can gather behind your color. Even inside the streets, you can barely see where you're going, so you just tell your drivers and handlers to keep the marching line intact and to proceed forward. And so they do, until there is a sudden scream coming from the column's front. Anticipating trouble, you make your way forward to see what is going on. There in the dust lies a scrawny man, clad in but a loincloth and grasping his left ankle, wailing in pain. You ask what happened. This fool came out of nowhere, one beast driver explains. Ran straight in front of the animals and got himself trampled. Then suddenly you hear an outraged cry and turn to face a man dressed in flowing white robes. "That's my slave," he shouts angrily. "You've damaged my property." Really? An insurance scam? Right here? The white-robed youngster kneels down beside his injured slave and takes his trembling hand. "Oh, dearest beloved Labes, are you alright?" Then he looks at you. "This is my most prized dancer slave, and your brutish beasts just broke his leg, rendering him useless. I am the venerable Imponus Pravus Purus, son of Ash's most influential slave trader, and you, Vagrus, will recompensate me right here and now, else suffer the consequences. Make haste and hand me 2 pieces of silver." This so-called Imponus Pravus Purus strikes you as vaguely familiar. Oh yeah. You removed the headwear. I'm pretty sure he's mostly bowed under there. Then it is probably the guy. Back when we were in Valerias, and he pretended to be a nobleman. Tried to tax us. Have you been following us? Or do you just do scams everywhere? It takes a few moments, but then you manage to place him. This is the very same man who has tried to dupe you before in Valerias. Ha, I was right. Looks like his methods haven't gotten any more sophisticated since then. Just before you are about to divulge that you are onto him, his eyes widen with realization. Oh shit, he gasps. Oh yeah, you remember me too, huh? Nah, you fucked up. Good Vagrus, I just remembered. I am ever so sorry. I didn't mean to impose on you again. Haha, gave away the game just like that. How is this man not dead? If he keeps scamming everyone like that. Surely someone would have shanked him, right? Plus he's in Ash. This is literally a slave trading center. Someone should just clap the shackles on him. Maybe we can do that. I wouldn't actually mind. He's visibly scared and begins to rummage through his robes, stammering all the while. I'm sure I've got something that could make you forgive this whole misunderstanding. Something of worth here. He produces a small bronze statue that he shoves into your hands. Please, I beg you, take this. Forget we've ever met. I'll be on my way and shan't bother you again. Thank you, good Vagrus. Before you could reply, he kicks his slave slightly in the ribs. Labes, you stupid fuck, can't you see the game is up? We got to scram. The slave struggles to his feet, and the two of them disappear into a dust-veiled back street. Aw, why did we let him? I mean, sure, we got some free shit, but something tells me that he's going to keep popping up everywhere we go. And it's going to be annoying really goddamn quick. Okay, grab some more supplies. Anything I can do? No, not really. Well, in that case, I think it's gonna be onwards to Devon. Okay, we are stopping at Sunrock here, and something else is happening. Slouching down in the local mansio with a mug of mushroom ale, you try to enjoy the few peaceful hours before you have to go about your usual business again. Your commes are happily carousing and enjoying their off hours, inviting you to join their revelry, yet you keep being troubled by some gloomy, foreboding sense of danger. Being on the road for as long as you have has taught you that even in the most relaxed situations, problems are never far away. As it turns out, you're right about that. A stocky, bald-headed woman, dressed in simple clothes, walks up to you timidly and tries to get your attention by clearing her throat. You turn towards her. I'm deeply sorry to disturb you, Vagrus, she begins, stammering, but I've heard quite a bunch about your deeds, and I'm in dire need of help from someone with a reputation like yours. Would you hear me out? I'm curious. She seems grateful that you are even listening to her plea. She starts slowly, awkwardly, but then the words practically pour out of her mouth like an unstoppable tide. My name is Ninki, good Vagrus, and I am the proprietor of Sunrock's most frequented establishment, the Woeful Worm. Truth to be told, a little too frequented nowadays. Representatives of two trading houses, namely Venari, Askitiknis, have taken up residence at my inn and have begun arguing over some kind of a trade dispute for days now. observed by prominent citizens. It's like some Imperial Forum, only much harsher. And they ain't drinking anything, they just keep driving my customers away with their rebel, which goes on and on and on. I agreed to the whole thing at the beginning because I expected it would be over fast. I had no idea they would throw it out endlessly. You ask Ninki what she expects you to do. Well, she answers shrugging. Someone of your reputation might convince this or that side to be more considerate. You have the potential to settle such a debate, and I wouldn't be ungrateful. Certainly the coin I'd pay you for such a task would seem diminutive compared to the coin I lose, while those damned factions keep arguing on my premises. Okay. I probably can sway at least one of them. Let's see about that. Ninki is delighted. You can tell that by the flush of red in her plum face. Doesn't really look like a plum face, but okay. Wonderful, she says happily. I knew as soon as Vagrus came into town that my problems would be solved. More like pushed onto another guy. Oh well. It is what I live for, after all. Please, come to the woeful worm as soon as you can and deal with that incessant lot. As soon as they clear out, I shall reward you handsomely. Then she merrily strolls away. Okay. But first I'm going to rest. It's interesting how sending both the workers and the slaves at the same time gives a much higher chance of failure. Not sure what's up with that. And it doesn't actually cover the complete cost of a stay here. But let's at least mitigate it a little. And of course, I failed. Because that is just my luck in video games. Okay, we are currently going to Devon. So we're able to take these ones for a little extra spending money. Take all your supplies. And I think Sunrock's main export is actually bone and ivory. I just don't think I need to take it anywhere. Looks like a very minimal profit in Devon for bone. And not even a profit for ivory. Okay then. Let's see what he has. Okay, some miscellaneous stuff. Let's leave a little offering. That never hurts. So what is this dispute about anyway? The woeful worm is not particularly hard to find. Just like Ninki said, it is one of Sunrock's most prominent establishments. Well, that's not really saying much, given how small this place is. Also the sign depicting a sad-looking invertebrate and the noise pouring out to the street gives it away at once. Upon entering the tavern, you immediately see what Ninki meant. There are hardly any regular patrons, not like we would know. Yet the place is teeming with robed people immersed in a heated dispute. One side is sporting a banner adorned by a stylized manticore, and is led by a lean yet muscular man. This is House Venari, one of the Empire's oldest trading houses. The others are prominently dressed in flowing robes colored blue, green, and grey, quite typical for the Skitiknis Covenant, a rather elusive trading house affiliated with some dragon lords. Their advocate is an elderly, elegant dragonkin woman with silver-grey hair. Can't we get a picture of her? I would like that, please. The whole affair is observed by a section of Sunrock's citizens, there to decide which faction should have a monopoly on certain goods in their town. As you appear, some heads turn towards you, and an excited murmur ripples through the crowd. It is obvious that they have recognized you by your reputation, and you have some authority here. The citizens of Sunrock eagerly await your judgment. Ninki gives you a reassuring nod from behind the bar. You greet everyone, then settle in and lean back, waiting for the debate to continue. You can tell that each participant is trying their hardest to make a good impression now that you are a witness. The dispute is basically about how the competing trading houses will divide the commissions for certain goods they both are known to provide. Prominent citizens and the local traders' representatives seem to be tied on the matter. The representative of House Venari concludes his summary after long minutes of speaking vehemently. This is a topic of the utmost matter. An outpost such as this might prove essential to the Empire's endeavors to expand this settlement. We must build upon strong foundations, metal and wood, something which House Venari can provide in abundance. Then the old woman rises, her sea-hued robes swirling around her slender shape. She gives a long, reasonable, eloquent speech that she concludes while looking you in the eye. Certainly, our brutish rivals would want us to believe that our mere existence depends upon their exploitation of this already ravaged land. Yet we of the Covenant believe we must resort to more subtle production if we want to survive. We are accused of being conspirators of the Dragonlands, yet look upon that realm. They are prospering and their lands are thriving. Wouldn't you want the same prosperity for the Empire, perhaps starting with this very outpost here? Then she sits down. Both parties look at you silently, awaiting your judgment. Again, would be nice if I could check my factions from here. But I'm pretty sure I'm much higher with the Covenant than House Venari. And don't fix what's not broken. Let's continue favoring them. After thinking for a while, you rise from your seat and voice your opinion in no uncertain terms. Right now, Sunrock needs more quality goods like crystals and wood, as well as support from the Dragonlands, and the Skitiknis Covenant is best suited to provide that. Being a well-traveled Vagrus, your word carries weight, and Sunrock's council decides to go along with your suggestion. The representatives of House Venari leave the tavern with their hands hanging low. After they have left, both Ninki and the advocate of the Covenant approach you, both quite grateful for how you helped them. You are assured by the Skitiknis leader that her organization is in your debt. Ninki hands you a pouch of coins and makes sure your comitatus receives a load of supplies she does not need. Thank the gods, and of course, you, Vagrus, she says relieved. Finally, the woeful worm can be open for normal business again. True enough, locals and travelers seem to drift in, as the Skitiknis take their leave too. Get a whole bunch of Covenant rep, bit of supplies, and a bit of money. That's good enough for me. Now continue on to Devon. And we are in Devon now. Let's actually see. I thought I had something to claim. since we have tier 3 with the Covenant. Yeah, I should be able. Oh, there's no faction presence in here. Okay. I didn't know that was also a factor. But now we know. Let's see, was there anything that I needed to do in Devon? Oh, need a bottle of. I think that was fine from the inn here. We can check on the mushrooms. That might also be good. I think slime grass is most reliably found. I think it was Larnak, right? That is the oasis after all. I think at some point I would need to go back there. So first stop, the inn. Which way would that be? Not here. Not here either. Oh hey, we actually need this guy for the quest of our lovely skeleton sculptor. Let's see, ask him if he can craft you a golden amulet with a socket. You tell the proprietor that you are looking for someone who can craft a specific amulet, a golden frame with a socket to house a larger crystal. He tells you that you have come to the right place, because of course, every merchant and craftsman says that, and offers his services as a jewelsmith. It appears that this is not a difficult task, you just need some time and a golden medallion. He can sell you one, or you can give him one too. And there is the question of a small work fee, of course. So if we had a rare jewelry, it would cost us a single bros. Yikes. I have a feeling that he's overpricing this jewelry. I think it was going for, like what, 11, 13, something like that. But yeah, sure. I have the money. It takes several hours to complete the amulet, and you spend it in the lounge drinking turkey and coffee and eating biscuits while the proprietor is busily chipping away at the trinket in the next room. He finally emerges, all smiles and apologies, and hands you the amulet you have asked for. Its pretty golden frame is solid, with a large socket in its center to insert jewels into it. Sure, Thutmose will have to carve the crystal to fit it perfectly, but that is his problem, not yours. Plus he didn't exactly give us specifications, I think. Okay, now we have an amulet. This took us some time. And we're still looking for that inn. There we go. The Copper Pugio. Since we're here, let's check the gardens. Did I ask if they have Aran's Bell? Down south. Yeah, we can't actually go there, so unfortunate. Maybe there will be some random NPC who can sell it to us. what do you know? The mushrooms have actually grown. The botanists take you to a dark chamber where all sorts of mushrooms are grown in vats and seed beds. You are led to a fungal colony beneath a crystalline formation that provides a soft yellow light. The mushrooms themselves are bunched up in small clusters and emit a tarnished golden glow as well as a sweet smell. There the botanists proudly announce that the strain has matured into what Vorax has been looking for. Your companion is beyond himself with glee and watches with a wide smile as a handful of botanists gingerly harvest the fungus, leaving just enough to continue propagating it, if so they wish. That's not how mushrooms work. But okay. The undead chef also has them cast a spell on the freshly cut mushrooms. The enchantment will preserve their freshness almost indefinitely. After all that is done, you leave with the sack of mushrooms in Vorax's care. This is great, really great, boss, he tells you, grinning and nodding gratefully. Thanks for the help, as always. That's one less ingredient. That's very nice. We have the wraith grass. Now all we need is Tarkian mugwort. An Oran's bell from somewhere. We do have the hunt quest. And here we go. Vorax leads you to the bar where a young man of short stature is cleaning tankards and glasses absent-mindedly. He has dark hair and eyes that are always smiling. "Oi, Grath, long time no see," Vorax exclaims, and the young man turns towards him with a kind grin. Hey, Vorax, you lousy bastard, how have you been?" he asks your undead companion. Same old, still dead, still kicking." They both laugh heartily and shake hands. Vorax then introduces you to Grath. "Oh damn, Vagrus," the bartender says. "A pleasure to meet you. Must be great doing what you do. Sorry, it's just that I've always had a thing for your profession." You chat a bit about your travels, but then Vorax gets down to business and asks him for a bottle of Empyreana. Grath sucks in air sharply and frowns. "That's a tall order, pal. I mean, I can get a bottle, but I'll need something in return." Before you could say anything, Vorax offers that you will pay for it, but Grath shakes his head. "Nah, not coin. The Pugio has enough of that. But we need other rare beverages to spice things up here, because honestly, our clientele is all about trying new things out. So I could trade you the Empyreana for let's say half a dozen bottles of rare booze." Vorax considers this for a moment. "Oh great, look at that. Another set of fetch quests. My favorite." "Alright, it's a fair trade," the undead chef says after a brief pause. "I have no idea where else to get Empyreana, so we'll go with the trade you're offering." Without even hearing it out, huh? Okay then. It's not like I'm the boss or anything. He then looks at you. "Shouldn't be a big deal since we travel around so much, eh?" You tell him that it depends on what Grath is asking for. The young bartender then lists the beverages, counting them out on his fingers. So there's Goradian absinthe, quite a strange brew, allegedly from herbs that grow in noxious Margorod, which is a place that we are going anyway. Okay, that's actually not too bad. Then I'll need a bottle of Luminarium, which is made of bright cap. Odd, I know, but people tend to brew booze out of everything they can get their hands on, right? Yep, that's just what humans do. I'll also need a bottle of my Kratar spirit, a kind of strong spirit from the Dragonlands. Then there's Ulalud, a Sadirar favorite, especially among shamans who claim to gain spiritual insight and dream quests, all that shit. So then there's Cerulean essence, Something they brew using grand blue crystals. Quite the invention. And last but not least, a bottle of Aqua Infernis. Something they spice up with fire magic, if you believe it. 6 bottles for a pristine Empyreana. Vorax nods a few times. You ask Grath if he knows where you can procure these beverages. Oh, I'm not sure, the young man shrugs, but it probably makes a lot of sense to take a look around the cities where they have the right sort of resources to brew them. That's what I would do. It looks like you have quite a search on your hands, but in order to get what Vorax wants, you will need to deliver these drinks to Grath. Easier said than done. And now we have the grapes of Grath. Okay. And these journal entries have no hints in them. But I can take a guess. So it was the absinthe that we need to go around Margorod, which tells me that there is probably a settlement around here that isn't on our map. So with the Sadirar brew, that's gonna be somewhere around here. Wasn't Sadirar actually the name of one of these villages? It's pretty weird how we never found it. Oh well. So with the ones that is made from crystal, that's gonna be either at Lumen or at Crystal, obviously. And what else was there? Yeah, the Luminalirium. That's gonna be somewhere Crystal or Lumen. The spirit is from the Dragonland. I can probably get one. Aqua Infernis. That's definitely gonna be from a Verdum. I mean, where else would you imbue it with fire damage? Cerulean Essence and Ularud. I don't even remember what they said about that. Yeah, Ularud was the Sadirar. Cerulean Essence was with the crystals. Luminalirium is the bright cap. I'm pretty sure I'm actually able to find all of these. It's pretty weird for a fetch quest, but I can already picture how I get around to it. But okay. We're probably not getting more out of him. At least for now. Which would mean that all that's left is to go back down and get the next step of the Golden Theory. And then, depending on where this takes us, we think about the next step. But I think I'm going to leave it here. This episode has been extremely all over the place, even more so than the previous one. But I hope you're still taking some sort of enjoyment from my bumbling around. If you do, then please give the video a like. Really helps me with the algorithm. You're also welcome to check out my channel. I play other kinds of games. And as always, I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, safe travels, Vagrus.